Hello friends, welcome to another 5 minutes for data science and the Viral ML show. My name is Manuel Monetizing, your host. It's limited to 5 minutes because I talk too much. So actually, let me start the timer so it's official. Today's topic is the mythical promise of automated feature engineering, which is kind of a bit like the flying cars, right? They promised that maybe like 50 years ago, and today we have neither. So before we dive into the topic at hand, let me tell you where the show is going to be saved. It's going to be at viralml.com. Go to channels and go to data science, and that's where this video will be when it's finished. And you already have my 5 minutes for data science of last week. Please sign up for my newsletter. It's right here in the middle of the page at viralml.com, and you can get exclusive deals on classes. Actually, there's a class I'm offering that you can only get to through the newsletter. So please check it out. Be part of this community. So what is feature engineering? Let's start there. It's a simple act of extracting additional features out of a data set. And that can be, your typical example is using aggregated data based on timestamps. So if you have, like, for example, you want to model a restaurant, right? And you have a timestamp, you can, for example, take that timestamp and extract a new feature, whether that timestamp is during the week or the weekday, right? For a restaurant, there's probably a huge difference in behavior. So that's something that's probably very predictive to model, a lot more predictive than just a raw timestamp. In this case, we're going to take today is today, a weekday or weekend, it's a weekday, right? So it's super simple, and that's called feature engineering. We just created a new feature, and you could do that for example, if you want the same in the restaurant, you want to model it during the day, whether it's the morning, the afternoon. Instead of raw timestamps, you could just create it is morning, is afternoon, or is evening, and it'd probably be a lot more predictive that way. So another great example is the zip codes, right? There's 42,000 zip codes in the US. They are categorical, so you can't really model them linearly, though I know people do. So one thing people do is they chop it off. Because it kind of moves from East Coast to West Coast in East to West kind of fashion. They'll just use the first two digits, or even better, the first digit, and then you'll reduce those categories from 42,000 to 10. Right? That's all feature engineering. So if you've been a data scientist, let's say for at least 6 months, you know the importance of feature engineering. You know how repetitive and how tedious it can be. We all have these libraries and this code that we carry from project to project, doing polynomial transformations, group bys, aggregate, right? It's a real pain. It's tedious. So why can't this stuff be automated? Well, people say, deep neural network is one area where you don't need any feature engineering. Like, for example, in this image, if you have enough hidden layers, it's going to transform, look at different details of that image in ways that it can look maybe like thousands of features, if not millions of new features, something you cannot do by hand. It's impossible. So it definitely does that, right? But the problem is an image. It's simple. There's no time series information. There's no workflow. Actually, I did play around here. If you go to viralml.com, scroll about halfway through, you'll see this video I made called Convolutional Neural Networks Predicting the Stock Market Using Images. And that's exactly what I did. I created these thousands of charts of the stock market and even some financial indicators. And I model all of them. Every little black hole, every little square you see is one chart. And I model all that with convolutional neural networks. But the problem is, right, that's all academic. There's no process flow. We don't know if it's a government service that's offered or not offered for age group, right? It does not know. So unless you could put every permutation of everything in an image, right, which is impossible, we're always going to have to use domain knowledge to create features. It's going to be something we can't get, we can't get around it. It's impossible. We shouldn't say impossible. It's just not possible right now. So and even people even do feature engineering on images, right? Like just looking at grayscales, or looking at a model that extracts a certain area of an image just to model that, right? So we're definitely not there. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a cool tool that came out that's called Feature Tools, and it will at the very least automate a lot of the tedious stuff that you do with feature engineering. And I have a very simple example here. Let me scroll here. I took the iris data set. Remember the iris data set, we're predicting flowers. We have 4 features to predict the sepal length, width, petal length, and petal width. And what you do is you create this entity set, and you just pass it what you want to predict, and you have to create an index column. In this case, I had to do that. And you see it tells you we have 150 rows and 5 columns, where you have 4 columns we can predict on. And then you can create new features by telling it, base all the features, compare them to sepal length, and that's exactly what it's going to do. So out of these 5 features, it's now created let's see, it created 23 features, right? And if you look at the features, it'll be like, the sepal length, the sum compared to the sepal width, right? It's going to start doing relationships. It can do a lot of date time aggregation for you, weekend, day, hours, right? It's going to do all that stuff automatically for you. So a great way of making it systematic and consistent, and without having you to always reinvent the wheels in these things. So I can see the timer is almost over. A great walkthrough is AJ2816 / Titanic Kaggle. Let me stop this. We're good. So this feature tools is super popular on Kaggle, and AJ2816 / Titanic Kaggle uses it on. It's a great walkthrough. Uses it on the Titanic dataset, so I highly recommend it. So before I end the show, one thing I like to do is plug my books. So one book I'm writing right now, I still not finished. This is a mock-up of the book. It's called MVP Light Stack Field Guide, and it's exactly about taking Python projects, machine learning, or anything, and quickly building a UI, right? A universal UI being the internet, right? The web, building web components. And anybody around the world can use it, and then having it hosted so that everybody can see it around the world and enjoy your work, enjoy your models, and even if you want to maybe even monetize it. We talk about taking Stripe payments. So this is a book that should be out hopefully by the end of the month, end of October, or maybe beginning of November if I slip. The other thing I wanted to ask, and this is if I would like to start doing some interviews of people who have used built SaaS products for machine learning. It doesn't have to be Python, it can be anything, but who have successfully taken machine learning and machine learning projects and created web applications. And I would love to interview you on a show. So if you know of anybody, if you're interested in it, or you know of people that would be interested in sharing that knowledge with people could learn. We could all learn a lot. Drop me a line, on Twitter or my email address, right? It's my last name @gmail.com. Definitely get in touch because I would like to start doing these interviews. Thanks for watching.